She had always been a fighter, a woman who never backed down from a challenge. Life had thrown many obstacles her way, but she had faced each one with grit, determination, and an unbreakable spirit. But this was difficult. This was a battle she never saw coming. A silent storm brewing inside her own body. A battle with sepsis. A battle that will change her life forever. Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Amara had always been a go-getter. She thrived on challenges, juggled multiple responsibilities, and never let anything slow her down. But life had other plans. At 2.5 months pregnant, she was overjoyed about becoming a mother. It wasn't her first pregnancy, but this was one that felt different, special even, until the day everything changed. She started spotting one morning, just a few drops of blood. Panic set in, but she told herself to stay calm. It wasn't uncommon in early pregnancy, but by nightfall, the spotting had turned into heavy bleeding. The pain was unbearable. She knew something was wrong. At the hospital, the doctors confirmed her worst fear. She had miscarried. The tears wouldn't stop. She felt like her body had betrayed her. But what happened next will haunt her for months. Instead of performing an evacuation procedure to remove the pregnancy remains, the doctors assured her that her body would naturally expel everything during her next menstrual cycle. She was sent home with painkillers and a heavy burden of loss weighing on her chest. The following month, Amara's cycle came, but something was off. The cramps were beyond anything she had experienced before. The bleeding wasn't normal either. Then came the fever. At first, she dismissed it as exhaustion. She was still grieving, after all, but when the fever refused to break, when the chills became unbearable, and when she started feeling confused and lightheaded, she knew this was no ordinary illness. One night, she woke up drenched in sweat, her heart pounding like a drum in her chest. Breathing felt like a struggle. Her husband, alarmed by how pale she looked, rushed her to the hospital. What followed was a blur. Beeping monitors, hurried voices, IV drips. The doctors ran tests and discovered the horrifying truth: sepsis. The remains of the pregnancy had not been expelled as promised. Instead, they had stayed inside her body, rotting and releasing deadly bacterial into her bloodstream. Her body was fighting back, but it was a war she could not win alone. For days, she hovered between life and death. The infection had spread fast. Antibiotics were pumped into her system, but her body was weak. The doctors prepared her family for the worst, but Amara, she refused to let go. Before sepsis, she had been unstoppable. Now, simple tasks drained her energy. Climbing the stairs felt like running a marathon. Brain fog clouded her thoughts, making even basic decisions exhausting. High palpitations made her fear for her heart. And then there was the unexpected, her struggle with public speaking. Amara had always been a confident speaker, but after sepsis, something changed. Standing in front of a crowd triggered a strange, overwhelming anxiety. Words tangled in her throat. The confidence she once had seemed to evaporate into thin air. She later discovered this was part of her Post-Sepsis Syndrome, a long-term condition affecting survivors. Fatigue, memory loss, anxiety, depression, things she had no idea were connected to her illness. But Amara was still a fighter. She wasn't going to let sepsis define her. Healing after sepsis isn't just about the body. It's about the mind and soul. Amara had to relearn patience, self-compassion, and acceptance. She started journaling to track her thoughts and emotions. On different days, she allowed herself to rest without guilt. She spoke to other sepsis survivors, realizing she wasn't alone. Most importantly, she began advocating for women's health, educating others on the dangers of medical negligence and the importance of listening to one's body. Lessons and advice. 1. To the hospitals and medical professionals. Always conduct a thorough checkup after miscarriage. If evacuation is necessary, do not send patients home without ensuring their safety. Listen to patients. A woman's intuition about her own body should not be dismissed. 2. To anyone experiencing sepsis or post-sepsis syndrome, be patient with yourself. Healing is not linear. Seek support, whether through therapy, community groups, or talking to loved ones. Don't isolate yourself. Learn your body again. Recognize triggers, pace yourself, and honor your limits. 3. To family and friends of sepsis survivors, understand that recovery takes time. Offer emotional support, not just physical help. Times, a listening ear is the best medicine. Encourage them to seek medical advice for post-sepsis symptoms, no matter how small they seem. Amara's story is not just about survival, it's about resilience. Yes, sepsis took a part of her, but it did not take her spirit. She continues to chase her dreams, just at a different pace. She still speaks in public, still pushes through the brain fog, still fights for her health every single day. And if you're battling sepsis, recovering from it, or struggling with post-sepsis syndrome, know this: you are not alone. You are not weak, and your journey is not over. Take your time to heal, and when you're ready, step forward, one small, strong step at a time. If this story resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need to hear it. And whilst you're there, don't forget to subscribe to Podcast with Sheila for more inspiring real-life stories that inspire, empower, and uplift. Exciting news! We now have live interviews with special guests every Tuesday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. UK time. Real stories, real experiences, and real inspiration in real time. You don't want to miss this, so mark your calendars and join us. And on that note, I can't wait to dig into my delicious chicken rolls that I'm preparing right now. If you were here, I would share. But since you're not, maybe you can whip up something just as tasty and join me in spirit. Until next time, stay inspired, stay strong, and keep pushing forward. See you soon.